I want to...
Go forward.
How you start investigating, you start racing.
That made them or memories.
We want you to bang.
Hello and welcome. My name is Ruth Guajardo. Hello and welcome. My name is Ruth Guajardo and I'm the Arts Program Manager for Centro Cultural Aslan. Today we're welcoming Cynthia Jane Trevino. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Cynthia is an art instructor. She's an artist, photographer, and now a printmaker. And she's here to give us a tutorial on how to make these beautiful cyanotypes like the one we see right here. Do you want to tell us a little bit of what cyanotypes are?
Yes. So cyanotypes are basically a type of blueprint or cyan colored print that's made by exposing it in the sunlight. It uses very safe chemicals, and it's a very ancient alternative photographic process. So it was developed around the 1800s, and it was basically one of the first forms of photography. So you can print cyanotypes on paper, you can print them on fabric, which is what I did here, as well as the blouse that I'm wearing. Basically any material that will absorb the chemicals, you can print on. So for example, this one is printed on a corn husk. So it's very versatile.
So I know your first love is photography. So what made you go into this type of alternative photography?
Yeah,
process?
so I first discovered cyanotypes early on in my teaching career. So I teach elementary art, and I thought, well, what's a good way to teach photography to young students without a camera? And so I came across this paper called nature print paper. And it was just something that the students could easily use, and they can see the process of making images with light. And so I started experimenting with it. From then on, I was like, okay, let me see how I can use this in my own artwork. So as a photographer, I already had images and things printed on Transparencies. So I went ahead and tried it out on the paper, and I just fell in love with the process. And since then, I've been experimenting with cyanotypes, and most recently making this large-scale cyanotype. So I think I want to continue doing that in my work, printing large pieces on fabric.
So I know that we follow you on Facebook, and recently we saw that you were in residency in Oaxaca. You want to tell us a little bit how that became about, and what was your experience like?
So I was in an artist residency with Architopia Foundation in Oaxaca, Mexico, and I was there for about 3 weeks, and I really had time to immerse myself in my practice. So I was able to create the cyanotypes, but also explore Oaxaca City and even utilize the resources that are there. So for example, this print here I made in Oaxaca, and it's a leaf from a tree called the guaje leaf, or the guaje tree. And this is a tree that's native to the area. So Oaxaca is named after this tree. So it was really great to utilize resources from there, take photographs in the space that I was in, and also having time to just really create my work and think about and reflect on why I make art.
That's great. Looks like you have a lot of fun doing it. Looks like a lot of fun. So stay tuned and let's watch this workshop by Cynthia. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Jane Trevino, and today I'm going to be talking about cyanotypes, how to make them, and how I use them in my artwork as well. So a cyanotype is basically a alternative photographic process. It was developed in the 1800s, and it is still used to this day. These are some of the products that I like to use. This is nature print paper. It's very kid-friendly. And this one here comes in fabric sheets. So this is one that I often use as well. And with this photographic process, you are able to make cyan prints or blueprints. They're sometimes referred to as sun prints. And this is examples of my artwork. So I've been experimenting a lot with using different found objects like leaves, as well as old family photos. So these are my great-grandparents. And I've even experimented with printing on corn husks. And this process uses two chemicals. So that's potassium ferrocyanide and ferric ammonium citrate. And when you combine these two chemicals, it creates a light-sensitive solution that you can apply to paper, or you can apply it to fabric, or really any surface that will absorb it. And then, see, these are some of the materials that I use in my process. So these are transparencies that I made. This is from an old family photo that I scanned the photo, and then I went ahead and used Photoshop to invert the image to create kind of like a negative. And then I printed on acetate or transparency paper. You can print pretty much any images you like on transparency, or you could draw images with like a black permanent marker, which is what I did here, or print out any type of symbols or images you like. These are some of the natural objects that I like to use, like leaves and flowers. And to make a cyanotype print, you need to expose the print in sunlight, or you can use any type of UV source. So I'll be using a UV light. This is one that I just purchased on Amazon. And it's pretty much, it's like a black light. So any type of light that emits UV will work for this process. I also need a piece of glass, or a piece of plexiglass works well, and a piece of cardboard to hold the print. And then I'll need water to rinse my print. And this is just hydrogen peroxide that will help oxidize the print and turn it into this bright blue color. So next I'm going to show you how to make a cyanotype, and I'm going to use the nature print paper. Make sure that you only open up the bag that it comes in under indoor lighting. Don't take it out into the sunlight until you're ready to expose your print. So I'm going to take one of the papers, which is already sensitized with the cyanotype solution. So this one here is ready for printing. And then you can place any objects you want on top. I'm going to use one of my transparencies. And some leaves or some natural objects. Place the plexiglass or whichever type of glass you have on top. And then we're going to use clips to hold it all together. So normally you would take this outside and expose it in the sunlight for about 1 to 2 minutes. But since I'm indoors right now, I'm going to use the UV lamp. And I'm just going to place it here under the lamp and turn it on. And I'll leave this for a little bit longer, maybe about 5 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and wash the print after.
So now it's been about 5 minutes under the UV lamp. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. And then I'm just gonna remove everything from the print. So you can see it created a print on the paper. So next I'm gonna wash it in the water. And it's okay to touch the print, press it down into the water. And you want to wash it for about 1 to 2 minutes. So I'm going to let that continue washing, and then I'm going to spray it with hydrogen peroxide. I like to use hydrogen peroxide in a spray bottle. Just makes it easier to apply it to the print. You can also just pour a little bit of hydrogen peroxide into the water. Basically what it does is oxidize the print a lot faster and turns it into this brilliant blue color. Normally the print would turn this blue color on its own after it dries, but this just kind of speeds up the process. So now let it rinse a little more. And then I'm going to place it on just kind of a piece of paper or cardboard. And then I'm going to spray it with the hydrogen peroxide. And you can see it turns into that beautiful cyan color. And then I'm going to wash it one more time in the water. Just kind of give it another rinse. And then place it on this paper to dry. And that's how you make a cyanotype print.
This concludes our video presentation. Thank you for watching. For additional information on Centro Cultural Aztlán and upcoming events, please visit our website at www.centroaztlan.org or look us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, if you missed some of our previous video presentations, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can contact us directly by phone at 210-432-1896. Muchas gracias.